Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 2, text number 13. Ka va atmavrittihi adhanad havihi anga vati kavatmavrittihi Thir adanadhavir angavati. Vishnoho kala asi animisho animisha unmakaro cha karno. Vishno kalasya animishon makaro chakarno. Udvigna Meena Yugalam Dvijapankti Shochihi. Udvigna Meena Yugalam Dvijapankti Shochir. Asanna Bhringanikaram Sara It Mukham Te. Asanna Bhringanikaram Sara In Mukham Te. Kavatma vrittiradhanadhavirangavati. Vishno kalasya animishon mukaro chakarno. Udvignamina yugalam dvijapankti shochir. Asanna bhringanikaram sara in mukham te. Kavatma vrittiradhanadhavirangavati. Vishno kalasya nimishon mukaro chakarno. Vishno kalasya nimishon makaro chakarno. Udvignamina yugalam dvijapankti shochir. Asanna bhringanikaram sara in mukham te. Kavatma vrittiradhanadhavirangavati. Vishno kalasya nimishon makaro chakarno. Udvignamina yugalam dvijapankti shochir. Asanna bhringanikaram sara in mukham te. Vatma vrittiradhanadhavirangavati. कावात्मि वृत्तिरधनाथ विरंगवाती कलास्य उद्विग्नमीन युगलम द्विजपंक्ति शोचेर मुखम थे कावात्मवृत्तिरदनाथ विरंगवाती विष्णु खलास्योन्मिषोऽनुखरौ च कर्णौ उद्विग्नमीनयुगलं द्विजपङ्क्तिशोचिर् आसन्नभृङ्गनिकरं सर इन्मुखं ते का what va and atmavrittihi food for maintenance of the body adhanat by the chewing of beetle havihi pure sacrificial ingredients anga my dear friend vati emanate Vishnu of Lord Vishnu kala expansion of the body asi you are animisha without blinking unmakarao two brilliant sharks cha also karnao 2 years udvigna restless meena yugalam possessing 2 fish dvijapankti of lines of teeth shochihi beauty asanna nearby bringanikaram possessing swarms of bumblebees saraha it like a lake mukham face te your translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My dear friend, what do you eat to maintain your body? Because you are chewing betel, a pleasing scent is emanating from your mouth. This proves that you always eat the remnants of food offered to Vishnu. Indeed, you must also be an expansion of Lord Vishnu's body. Your face is as beautiful as a pleasing lake. Your jeweled earrings resemble 2 brilliant sharks with unblinking eyes like those of Vishnu. And your own eyes resemble 2 restless fish. Simultaneously, therefore, 2 sharks and 2 restless fish are swimming in the lake of your face. Besides them, the white rows of your teeth seem like rows of very beautiful swans in the water. And your scattered hair resembles swarms of bumblebees following the beauty of your face. Translation with repetition. My dear friend, what do you eat to maintain your body? Because you are chewing betel, a pleasing scent is emanating from your mouth. This proves that you always eat the remnants of food offered to Vishnu. Indeed, you must also be an expansion of Lord Vishnu's body. Your face is as beautiful as a pleasing lake. Your jeweled earrings resemble two brilliant sharks with unblinking eyes like those of Vishnu. And your eyes resemble two restless fish. Simultaneously, therefore, two sharks and two restless fish are swimming in the lake of your face. Besides them, the white rows of your teeth seem like rows of very beautiful swans in the water, and your scattered hair resembles swarms of bumblebees following the beauty of your face. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The devotees of Lord Vishnu are also his expansions. They are called Vibhinnamsha. Lord Vishnu is offered all kinds of sacrificial ingredients, and because devotees always eat prasad, the remnants of his food, the scent of sacrificial ingredients emanate not only from Vishnu but also from the devotees who eat the remnants of his food or the food of his devotees. Agnidra considered Purvachitti an expansion of Lord Vishnu because of the pleasing scent of her body. Aside from that, because of her jeweled earrings shaped like sharks, because of her scattered hair resembling bumblebees mad after the scent of her body, and because of the white rows of her teeth which resembled swans, Agnidra compared Purvachitti's face to a beautiful lake decorated with lotus flowers, fish, swans, and bumblebees. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So here we are seeing Agnidra continuing to address the celestial girl who has appeared before him, Purvachitti, and he is struck by her beauty, and he is admiring her and talking to her. And in today's verse, he says, Ka Kava Atmavrittir. Ka Atmavrittihi. What is your Atmavritti? Atmavritti, food for maintenance of the body. What do you do for the maintenance of your body? What food do you eat? because you are so beautiful. Kava atma vritthir adanad havirangava anga. He is addressing her as a friend, as a dear friend. Adhanat havir anga vati. There is a fragrant smell that is coming from your mouth. Vati, vata, it's like something that comes from one's mouth. And adanat havihi angavati. He is seeing that the smell I can see is of like the havihi is the ingredients that's offered in the sacrifice. And in the same way, I see that you are adanat, you are eating something, and from your mouth I can smell something, and that is like havihi. It's smelling of pure ingredients which are offered in sacrifice. So ka vatma vrittir adhanad havir angava anga vati. Vishnu kala asi. I think you are an expansion of Vishnu. Vishnu kala means an expansion. Vishnu kala asi. Animishon Vishnu. It can refer to Vishnu. Unmakara, it can refer to Unmakara. Makara is a shark. Unmakara, bright shark. Chakarna, the Unmakara, the bright shark, which is decorating your karna, 2 ears. So it's referring to the earrings. So she seems to be having some earrings of sharks, like a shark shaped. So he's referring to that. Unmishon, animishon, unmakarau, chakarnau. And udvignamina yugalam. I see there are 2 fishes which are restless. Udvigna, they are here and there, they are moving around. Meena yugalam, pair of fishes. Dvijapangti shochi. And your dvijapangti, 2 rows of teeth, they are shochi, brilliant. Asan bhringanikaram. And nearby I see swarms of bumblebees. Bhringa, bees, nikaram, a collection of bhringa. Bhringanikaram. Nearby asan, sara in mukham te. And your mukham, your beautiful face, looks like sara, like a clear, beautiful, pleasant lake. And so it looks like your face looks like a lake. And there I see udvigna meena yugalam. And in that lake there are 2 restless fishes, referring to her eyes, which are probably darting and moving around. So, looking at different things, her eyeballs. And dvijapangti shochir. And in that lake I see your teeth. They'll resemble like rows of swans, beautiful swans. And in that lake, Sara in Mukhamte, there is not only Udvigna Meena Yugalam, Unmakarao. There are also 2 sharks. And you are so beautiful. Vishnu Kala Asi. And I can smell Haviranga, Havirvati. So like this, Agnidra is quite bewildered and describing the beauty of Purva Chitti in this way, very poetic. And this is the way he is seeing her. My dear friend, Anga, what do you eat to maintain your body? Ka atmavritti. Because you are chewing betel, adhanat, a pleasing scent, havi. Pleasing scent is emanating from your mouth. Havir anga vati. This proves that you are always eating you always eat the remnants of food offered to Vishnu. That's the conclusion he's coming to. Indeed, you must also be an expansion of Lord Vishnu, Vishnu Kala Asi. Your face is as beautiful as a pleasing lake. Te mukham sarain. Your jeweled earrings resemble two brilliant sharks with unblinking eyes like those of Vishnu. Your jeweled earrings, Karnau, resemble two brilliant sharks, Unmakarau, with unblinking eyes, Animishon. Animisha means unblinking eyes, refers to Vishnu. Unblinking also means always vigilant. Vishnu is always vigilant about his creation. If he becomes for a second non-vigilant, creation will collapse. So he's always watchful. And your two eyes resemble two restless fish, Udvigna Meena Yugalam. Simultaneously, therefore, two sharks, Unmakarau, two restless fish, Meena Yugalam, Udvigna Meena Yugalam, are swimming in the lake of your face. Sarain Mukhamte. Besides them, the white rows of your teeth, Dvijapankti, Shochim, seem like rows of very beautiful swans in the water, and your scattered hair resembles swarms of bumblebees, Bringanikara. Bringanikaram. Following the beauty of your face, Te Mukham. So, we can see how Agnidra is looking at Purva Chitti and her face and her bodily features. Agnidra's way of looking at a beautiful woman is very different from the way Acharyas advise us to look at the beauty of a woman. Here he is seeing Agnidra, he is seeing beautiful lake, Sarain Mukham De. He is seeing two sharks, restless eyes, swans. We know our Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, in the story that he constructed of liquid beauty, how he tells us we should see. This is beauty, but what is that beauty actually made of? Etan mamsavasadi vikaram. It is simply a transformation of flesh, blood, and cells and tissues. Don't be after that. Don't get bewildered by that beauty. I remember seeing one picture in National Geographic magazine of a skeleton which archaeologists had unearthed. And you look at that, you know how the skull is. You have unearthed it, so there's only the skeletal remains. And you see the skull. Skull is usually associated with some fear. Right? That's why they put danger and they put one skull. So that skull, and naturally it's scary, the rest of the thing. And then there was below caption which says that they'd done the dating, they'd done the different analysis of the skeleton, and they said that this was actually belonging to a woman. They somehow could figure out. It was a female skeletal system. And they also did some time aging and all those kind of. Then they said that this looks like a 21-year-old girl who was somehow buried. And you look at that, a 21-year-old girl must be very beautiful and all that we would think. But look at that scary skull. And that's what the beauty is. It's just skin and flesh you take away. It'll be scary. How these things are constructed in their truth, in their substance, but how we make out of it because of the illusion. So, that is why Manasi Vichintya Varam Varam. Shankaracharya says, always Varam Varam Manasi Vichintya. Always keep this in your mind. Always analyze this. Don't take it out of your mind and run after the false beauty of this world. So, the way Agnidra sees and the way Acharyas tell us to see is very different. So we have to be careful to follow in the footsteps of the Acharyas, to follow the instructions of the Acharyas. And this is because as devotees, we are supposed to be after absolute truth, not relative truth. Satyam param dhimahi. I meditate on the absolute truth. That's how the Bhagavatam begins, isn't it? Satyam param dhimahi. Prabhupada explains the difference between absolute truth and relative truth. It's very nice how when Prabhupada writes absolute truth, A is with a capital, T is with capital, absolute truth. And when Prabhupada talks about relative truth, R is a lowercase r and T is a lowercase t. So it's difference. Absolute truth and relative truth. One explanation Prabhupada gives, what is the difference between relative truth and absolute? Both are truth. But one is relative truth, another is absolute truth. So one definition Prabhupada gives is, time has three phases, past, present, and future. Right? Some minutes before, we were all in the temple hall. Now we are here, and sometime later, this hall will become empty, and we all will go to different places doing different things. So time has these three features, past, present, and future. Something that is true in all three phases of time is called absolute truth. And something that is true in only one or two phases of this truth is called relative truth. So the beauty of a woman, the beauty of Purva Chitti, not only of woman, of man also, everybody's beauty in this material world, or a beautiful flower you take, it is relative. It is there now, it was not there before, and it will not be there in future. This agglomeration of aggregation of tissue and bones and blood, which makes the appearance, gives the appearance of beauty, it will be gone. So this is relative truth. There is truth. You cannot say, oh, she's not beautiful, this is not beautiful, this flower is not. Yeah, there is truth. But it is relative truth. It is not absolute truth. And we as devotees, we are in pursuit of absolute truth. We are in truth of absolute beauty. Beauty that exists in all three phases of time, never fades away. And that beauty is beauty of Krishna. That is the beauty of the spiritual body. That is the beauty of the spiritual world. So we are supposed to be Satyam Param Dhimahi. So, in our life we come across a lot of relative truths. And we should not be after that. We should be after absolute truth. Life after life we have chased relative truths. Like beauty, fame, reputation, wealth, all of these are truths. Somebody is a very powerful man. And once I had a visitor to our temple, and he had come with some of his admirers. He was an old man, and he was the defense minister of our country. And he was so old, his hands were all shivering like that. And then they were admiring him. So you are so powerful, the way you fought that Kargil war against, at that time he was the defense minister. And he was thinking, where is his strength gone? You see, where is all his, it's all gone. Power, strength, valor. And I was thinking, this man is the defense minister, what will happen to our country? He can't even take care of his body. That's the way it is. Someone may be endowed with power, authority, strength. It can be taken away with time. This is the principle that Krishna brings very early in the Bhagavad Gita. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubhayorapi drishtvantas tvanayos tattvadarshibhihi. Tattvadarshibhihi, who are tattvadarshi, who are seers of the truth, absolute truth, not relative truth. They have concluded. What have they concluded? Nasato vidyate bhavo. Na asataha vidyate bhavaha. Asataha, something that does not exist. Sat means that which exists. Something that does not exist. Na bhavaha. Nasato vidyate bhava. Bhava, here it means changing and endurance. It does not. Na bhavaha asataha. Something that does not exist, asataha, na bhavaha. It does not endure. Na bhavo vidyate sataha. But sataha na abhavaha. Abhavaha does not change. It does not die. Abhava means death. It is deathless. It will not die. Na abhavaha sataha. Sataha na abhavaha. Asataha na bhavaha. It looks like a jugglery of words. It simply means Krishna is saying, for something to exist, it has to endure. If it does not endure in time, it does not exist. The beauty, the relative beauty of this world, it does not endure with time. Hence, that truth, that beauty is not true. It is not sat. It does not exist. Something that does not change, that is sat. That exists. That is why devotees are supposed to be after absolute truth, and hence devotees are known as satam. Those who are after sat. So, we as devotees, we are supposed to be after sat, that which endures, and not asat, which just crumbles with time. So, that should be the thinking of devotees, that we are after the absolute truth, not relative truths. So, in our life, we will come across lot of relative truths. Some fame will be there, Some power will be there, some authority will be there, some wealth can be there. But all of these does not endure. And hence, a devotee knows that this is asat. I was reading one article about our country's independence in 1947. And this historian who was writing this, he's describing the circumstances. It was so complex. Britishers had decided to go away. They had decided to hand over. And then the Indian leaders were gathering together and they wanted to get different princes of the states. They were taking what was known as a letter of ascension. Kashmir had given the letter of ascension to become part of the Republic of India. And the partition discussion was going on. All the Muslims, Muslim League, there was a party group of people and they wanted a separate state, country of their own. So Bangladesh was also, at that time it was known as East Pakistan. So that the two different parts, they were once one country, one this side of India, this another side of India. They were same one country. And then in Hyderabad there was the Nizam who was ruling the princely state, as a princely state. And he did not give the letter of ascension. He wanted it to become part of Pakistan. And Gandhiji was, and they were thinking, we have to use force. We have to use the Indian army to force Nizam to give the letter of ascension. And he was not willing. And Gandhiji said, don't use force. And Gandhiji was about to launch his fast unto death. 16 times he had done fasting unto death. This was the 17th time he was going to do. And people were worried. My God, if he does fasting unto death, people will not press for it. And Nizam, Hyderabad will become part of Pakistan. What's going to happen? People were worried. Even British didn't want that to happen. But they couldn't control things. India, and things were such a mess. So, when you read all that mess that goes on, and big leaders, or Nehru, Sardar Patel, Gandhiji, and this, they're all part of discussing this, that, Jinnah, there are all discussions going on. But these are all relative truths of this world. In 1922, when Abhay Charan De met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he told him, you are talking about Bhagavad Gita message to be spread all over the world. India requires freedom now. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, these are all unimportant things. Empires come and go. The message of Bhagavad Gita is about the unchanging soul. These things, these features of this world go through different fluxes of reality. Those are all temporary features. So, our Acharyas are fixed on the absolute truth and not of the changing relative truths of this world. That is for less intelligent people. They are carried away by the power and the authority and control and different things that they have, and they are manipulating that. They are thinking we are in control of all that. That excites, the relative truth excites the less enlightened person. More enlightened one is, they know that these are all fleeting things. Just like children are very excited with toys. And as grown-up people, we disregard that. Hey, what is this? That child is so fascinated with that. So in the same way, an advanced spiritualist sees that, yes, this Britishers are ruling, India is this, that, or all these things. These are all temporary features of this world. They are fixed on the absolute truth. So, it's so amazing to see that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the Acharyas, they were not swayed by these things of the changing situation in this world. You should imagine, in the whole of India, the Swaraj movement in 1922, it was gaining. Poets were singing, were composing poems on Swaraj. We have to become independent. Public meetings were happening, although it was banned. Still, Britishers trying to contain that. Meetings were happening. Leaders were thumping on the desk and saying, we should get independence. And everyone, whole country is in one mood. But on the terrace of the Gaudiya Math in Ulta Danga Street, there the seated the Acharya with a big book in front of him, and he says, these are all relative truths. No meaning. Forget it. It's a very bold vision our Acharyas have. They're not caught up with the things that goes on in this world. That's the nature of this material world. Okay, 1947 independence came, partition happened, Nizam finally surrendered, army was sent. It happened because Gandhiji was killed. That's one of the reasons Godse says motivation for him. What would have happened? So he says, I'll go and kill him. And they decided. So all these kind of things happen in history. But where is all? It's all gone. Before there were Roman Empire, different empires were there in this world. Many kings were there in our country too. But all those kingship, ruling, these things come and go in the flow of time. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha. Ubhayorapi drishtvantas tantvanayos tattvadarshibhihi. Ubhayorapi drishtvantas tattvadarshibhihi have analyzed both the relative truth and the absolute truth. And then they have concluded that this is absolute truth and we shall be after that absolute truth. Krishna brings this up in the 2nd chapter very early in the Bhagavad Gita to make Arjuna understand. Please understand what is the body and what is the soul in the body, which is a particle of that absolute truth, of the same nature of absolute truth. Tattvamasi. This is Vedic statement. Tattvamasi. You are also like that absolute truth, a particle. That is why Prabhupada is using Vishnu Khalasi. Tattvamasi. Tvam tattasi. You, tvam, you are that, not this. This will be gone. This beauty, this body, this, you are not this. Tat tvam asi. These are Vedic statements, Chandogya Upanishad, which is telling, we are that. You are that. That refers to that absolute truth. You belong to that. You are a particle of that. You are not this. Bones, blood, flesh. This is we are not this. To convey that. So, but then practical reality in this world, there is beauty, there are women, there is beauty about that. How to deal with that? Right? Just like Agnidra has come in touch with Purva Chitti. He has even smelt the smell coming from a body, smell coming from a mouth. And he's thinking, he's going crazy about all that. So how to deal with the beauty of this world, relative beauties of this world? So Vedic literatures have a certain framework how to deal with it, so that we don't get carried away, we don't get misled in our human form of life, which is very valuable. We have to be focused on absolute truth. And so in the Vedic framework, there is something known as a marriage. A man and a woman can come together in marriage where they lead a responsible life, responsible to each other. Responsible means not just because of like and dislike. Oh, I like and so we will be together. And now I begin to dislike, so I'll separate. No, it is in Indian system of wedding, it is not like that. It is with responsibility we come together. And we are responsible to each other, and we will have a child and be responsible to the child to make the child also go back to Godhead. See, the whole thing is that how in the Vedic system, this beauty, attraction to the beauty, all these are realities. It is not denied, but there is a framework given how to deal with it in a responsible manner, keeping the absolute truth in focus. That is why when Srila Prabhupada was spreading Krishna consciousness, was establishing Krishna consciousness, when he went to America, the first thing he saw was, one of the first things he saw was that there were men and women, they were living together. And they were not husband and wife, they were not married. It was surprising. In the 1970s, you can imagine, from an Indian mindset, Srila Prabhupada, he was surprised to see that. So, as soon as he initiated them, in the very next opportunity, he married them. He saw that they are living as just friends together. This is not the way. And he wanted to regulate, and he introduced marriage. And at that time, for the marriage, who was there to marry? And he himself had to marry. He was a sannyasi. How can a sannyasi marry? Suppose you ask one of the Madhva Mat sannyasis and tell, can you please preside over and conduct a marriage? Say, no, that's not for us. Right? In Indian system, we know marriage, sannyasi cannot do. In fact, we have a rule in our temple, isn't it? Brahmacharis should not go attend a marriage. Your saffron dress, what are you in that marriage? There's another mood there. What are you? You're an aberration in that mood. That's how we think. Indian system is like that, isn't it? But Srila Prabhupada, a sannyasi, Paramahamsa, sitting there, and so your marriage shall be conducted. So, Prabhupada did unusual things which are not part of tradition for the sake of circumstances and for the sake of establishing Krishna consciousness all over the world. Sometimes one of the objections they say about Ritvik system is that it is not in the tradition. Sannyasi doing marriage is also not in the tradition. So these are all things that Srila Prabhupada did. For that matter, chanting on the beads and handing over, that was the tradition which was introduced by Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. Even that was not there in the past. It's not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving, oh Sakara Malik, here is your mala. Your name shall be Sanatan Das, Sanatan Goswami. No such, that kind of a ceremony. We don't read that at least. It wouldn't have happened. It happened in some other way, mystical way. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu initiated them and they are considered, they are his direct disciples. But these things, and then at one time Srila Prabhupada, when he was traveling around the world and it was very inconvenient, he authorized somebody. He said, he will chant and he will give the mala to you. He will sanctify the mala by his chanting, and it is as good as my sanctifying it. He made a system like that. Others started chanting and they would give the mala. And Prabhupada would send the names alone. He would send the chanted beads initially. After that, that also it became very heavy. The package was becoming heavy and it was expensive to send. So Prabhupada authorized. In America he will chant. In England he will chant. And he authorized them and they would chant. There is a letter, Prabhupada saying, he will chant and give it to you, but they will be my disciples. It will have the same effect as my chanting, by his divine authorization. So these are all, where is the tradition for all this in the history of Vedic culture? Look for an example of this kind. You will not find. So like this, Srila Prabhupada did so many things to keep his disciples engaged. In 1971, Srila Prabhupada was in Vrindavan. He was supposed to conduct a marriage of his disciples. And but then there was news, it was brought to Prabhupada, that there was one more marriage. This first marriage was a proper marriage, husband, wife, they were going to get married. The wife was not even initiated. Prabhupada was supposed to give the name, initiate her and marry. Both were happening. There was another couple there, Prabhupada's disciples. That man was going to marry a woman, but that man was already married in America and he had dumped the wife. And now he had come to India. He was living in Vrindavan and he wanted to marry someone. And with that woman, she had already become pregnant. Not married, but she had become pregnant. Now Prabhupada had to formalize that one. So it was brought to Prabhupada's notice that so-and-so is your disciple, Srila Prabhupada. You had only married him some years back. He has dumped her. He's here. Now he wants to marry her and she's already become pregnant and he wants you to marry, the marriage to happen. So Prabhupada was thinking what to do. Not a very honorable situation like that. So Prabhupada, he came up with an interesting idea. He told Guru Das, who was probably was the temple president in Vrindavan at that time. Temple was being built. Krishna Balram temple was not built. This initiation happened in Saraf Bhavan, one of the places where devotees would stay. They made 2 yagna kundas. In one yagna kunda, this dishonorable couple, their marriage happened. Prabhupada was not present. They were still sitting. Vows were taken. Prabhupada reasoned what can be done. Anyway, he's now made this woman a pregnant. Okay, let them get married. And Prabhupada didn't come. Guru Das conducted the fire sacrifice, wedding, everything happened. And they were still sitting. Then Guru Das moved to the other kunda. Another fire kunda was set up. And at that time, Prabhupada came. The 2 new devotees who were going to get married, they were there. And so Prabhupada did the initiation, conducted the marriage, and nothing was spoken about it. Prabhupada gave a normal talk, and the matter ended. So Prabhupada did very unusual things. Breaking tradition, creating new tradition, all these things. Because Prabhupada was focused on how to establish Krishna consciousness, how to make people Krishna conscious all over the world. It's a very, very special thing in the history of our parampara. Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Jagannath Das Babaji, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Prabhupada. These immediate Acharyas, very quickly, one after another, they were preparing for this Krishna consciousness to go all over the world. Before, their birthplace of Chaitanya was not known. It is important. Jagannath Das Babaji identified the birthplace. And Bhaktivedanta Thakur, so much confusion was there about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his philosophy and the Vedic perspective. Systematically he laid out, according to the teachings of the 6 Goswamis, what is Chaitanya, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is the final truth in the Vedic literature. Extensively wrote that, brought a systematic understanding. And Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, who understood all that, and in his life, in his conviction, the life he led, full realization. And then when Bhaktivedanta Thakur wanted his brilliant scholarly son to get initiated, he said, you should take initiation from Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. And he took initiation from him. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he created an organization, further brought out a wonderful, actually Prabhupada says, Gaudiya Math was a wonderful organization. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But then Prabhupada laments that wonderful organization was ruined because of disobedience to Guru. Prabhupada laments that a great institution was lost. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur created further structure, and unfortunately it was lost. And then Srila Prabhupada, in quick succession, took this all over the world. So this Krishna consciousness going all over the world, devotees chanting Krishna's name according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction, it's a very, very extraordinary happening in the history of Vaishnavism. So it's not a small thing. These Acharyas came in quick succession. And that is why Srila Prabhupada, seeing that what is the essence, how to keep that essence in a situation, in a global situation like that, that is what Srila Prabhupada has created, writing these books, giving us the spiritual perspective and how to practice this. So these are very, very special happenings, and that is why, when we sing, when we do our Guru Ashtaka prayers, when we sing Guru Puja, we see that in the context of the Acharyas. In our Prem Dhvani, every day we remember all these great Acharyas and their significant contribution. We wouldn't be in spiritual life if these Acharyas had not done what they did. So we owe it to them. We should be grateful to them. Otherwise, what would have happened to all of us? Even though we are born in India, how many Indians are there? They are utterly confused about what is spiritual truth. So, very extraordinary contributions these Acharyas have made. And to make that, Srila Prabhupada, to create such an institution, he created new traditions, new practices, and hence to take initiation from Srila Prabhupada, because Prabhupada's teaching is that we must take from a pure devotee spiritual master, a Paramahamsa spiritual master, and he should be seen not as an ordinary person. Namartya buddhya asuyeta. Because that's the teaching of the Bhagavatam. That's the teaching of the Vedic literature. A guru should not be seen as an ordinary man. Namartya buddhya. He's not a martya. He's not an ordinary mortal. You should not see him as an ordinary mortal. He has come, sent by Krishna. Like Krishna descends, pure devotee, spiritual master descends. So, to such a spiritual master we must surrender utterly. And to create that facility in the institution, Prabhupada made this Ritvik system also. So, we should be very careful about all this understanding and practice Krishna consciousness. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.